Well, jumping back into some Geoguessr investigations. This is volume 3. Going to see what we see. Starting off, you got a moving game. Rating 700, 800, and duels played 900 to 1,000. Um, let's take a look and see what might be the issue here, why this person may have been reported. Okay, so firstly, very quickly finding a sign and zooming in, and now they've already been sitting, looking at it for a significant amount of time without pulling their map open at all. Let's see how close they get after this. So, of course, a lot of players will look away from what they Googled and look at the trees or something for a minute to, I don't know, try and convince somebody that they weren't Googling. It's not very effective strategy. I don't know what the thing is. So clearly they've got another um, Google Maps open, and they tried their best to line it up with what they saw on the other screen, and it's a pretty good guess if you did it honestly, but we can clearly see that's not the case. So um, I'm going to mark them down guilty for Googling, not for scripting. We'll move on to the next one. Okay, looks like the same player because it's a moving 700, 800 with under 1,000 duels played. Um, we're zooming in on a sign again. You see those poles? That's some good chili meta. Um, sorry, I'll just back it up. If you see this sign, you see this gap, the two poles coming up to support the sign. You see the gap in the sign there, in the poles. It's a little hole right here. I guess there's a cover on the front of it, but there's a bit of a gap there. That's a pretty good meta for chili. You won't miss for that. Um, so I mean, we've seen this player Google before. That's a much more useful sign here, I would say. Are they going to pause on it? Still haven't opened the map, obviously. Again, this is a little slow, but I mean, like this with the first round, them clearly googling. Um, I can only imagine that this is going to be some googling done again. We'll see how quickly they zoom into the map. Okay, so it looks like they might actually be scanning this round. Let's see if they end up resorting to some googling. They're not zoomed in very closely. Okay. Um, let's take a look again at the pause here. Um, the first sign wasn't super useful, I wouldn't think. We know this person cheats in general, but I want to make sure that we report the correct rounds. Um, not definitely long enough to Google something there, but maybe a little less likely. Remember, they've already got the Google Maps open from last round. They were prepared to do it. I mean, they're probably prepared in the first place, but we know that for sure here. Um, this is pretty long pause here on the Copiapo sign. We are zooming in on this sign. There's not any extensive pauses, um, but La Finca would be pretty easy to pull up and type in as well. Um, I think that Geoguessr should take a look at each of their rounds here. So I'm going to again say they're guilty for Googling, not guilty for scripting. Same player once again. We got a moving game, 700, 800, duels played 900 to 1,000. Let's see what they're doing here. So, um, not too much signage here. If they're English speaking, they're not going to be able to Google that most likely unless they've really been prepared, um, which could be the case, but I, whether that would even be helpful is doubtful. Um, so you notice the in the sky, you've got the looks like shadows. That's a good indicator for Montenegro, Albania. Um, but honestly, this guess, I don't think they had anything really to use there. So I'm gonna have to let them off the hook on this one. We know this person has been cheating, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and say not guilty on this round because there's clearly no evidence at all that they did in fact Google in this. Um, Guess is really good, especially for a person that 700, 800 rating. But that's a pretty um, clean meta. You see those shadows in the sky. You're going to be most likely in one of those places, along with the look of the architecture, landscape, and all that. I don't think this is an impossible guess, even for someone with a little lower experience. So for here, I'm going to say they're not guilty on both accounts. Okay, so we got a new player here, more experienced. They're in the level 1100 to 1200 range. Not a whole lot of duels played for that level of elo, which is pretty good. I mean, I guess when you're in gold um, and you're playing against players that level, you can spike up your elo pretty well if you're doing well. So um, it's hard to say. Uh, let's see what they're up to here. This looks like a Pacific Northwest round. Looking around. They took a quick look around. It is a moving game, so I can understand why the player might think this is a little sus how quickly they were guessing. But with the size of the trees, the look of the landscape, you can fairly quickly decide that this is going to be either Canada or the U.S. Like that no parking sign there is something you'd see more in the U.S. than Canada, just being red and not black. Um, Landscape very much looks Pacific Northwest. I think I don't with this Elo. That's a pretty good guess. Yeah, Seattle, but I don't see any evidence of any cheating there. Um, if you're familiar with the area, it's a good way to get a leg up. Just insta guess on the moving game before the other player has a chance to find info. If you've got a good idea of where you are. Okay, next round. Not a lot to see here. This is a new no move game, so this is again another player. Same rating, elo rating range, and duels amount of duels played, but it's a different game for sure. Um, okay, that was interesting. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. So initially, player clicked France, and then switched over to Hungary, and then thirdly, Serbia, very close to the pin. That's a quick change, in my opinion. You're going from France to Hungary to Serbia. Um, just looking quickly here. I don't think there's too much coverage in France that looks like this. Um, just sunny. Looks like summer coverage. I mean, yeah. I'm sure there's places in France that look like this. So I don't blame the first click. Super, super flat. Um, but again, not impossible. I can see Hungary here for sure. Road quality, super flat. and then the north of Serbia. It's an interesting arc, that's for sure. But I don't see movement that looks like scripting to me necessarily. I just slow it down real slow here. First click France, second click Hungary. I mean, it looks very close, but still wrong country. And then the last click, very close to the pin, within 100 kilometers, maybe even less. Eh, a little weird looking, but I'm gonna say insufficient evidence for scripting. Clearly, there was nothing to Google there, but right now, hopefully, we'll get the next round the same player. Maybe we can get a little bit of a better idea what's going on there. Okay, so we got no move, 1100 to 1200, 500 to 600 duels played. So it does look like it's the same player. Let's see what the plonks look like here. Okay, zooming in on the German bollard. We know we're on a railway road crossing here. I don't know, I'm getting deja vu. I feel like I've gotten this map before, but that happens from time to time for sure. Wouldn't be able to tell you exactly where other than it's Germany. Okay. That's a really good plonk. Um, but I mean, I don't see any evidence of scripting at all. It's a heck of a plonk, no question. Um, but this person has progressed pretty quickly in 500 duels. Not crazy, but could be a smurf. It's not impossible. Um, I don't personally see a lot of meta that would indicate where it is. I mean, there's a sign with a railroad number on it. Certainly doesn't mean anything to me. Doesn't mean it doesn't mean anything to anyone else. I don't know if that's a usable meta. And I see no evidence of anything, so I can't. Excellent guess, but I can't accuse this person or suggest that they were cheating. Okay, so we're moving on to another player here. It's a no move game, 1,000 to 1100 rating, and 3,000 to 4,000 duels played. That's what I meant, by the there's a huge variation on how many duels people have played and what their skill level is and whatever, right? But this player is a lower elo and has played 3,000 to 4,000. Although I'm sure all of you know, playing, you can have a bad day and drop your elo by 100, even 200. If you got a really bad run. I mean, I try to um, stop when I'm losing, but sometimes it just pushes you to keep playing to try and recover some of those points you've lost. But that's quite a few duels played compared to the last player, but they have a lower rating. Got a North America around here looking like Canada, but let's see what they see. It's got a kind of East Coast vibes, I would say. Definitely looking for some meta. Nothing crazy. Um, Pretty quickly zoomed into New Brunswick, so let's just review that real quick. Um, so no front plates. I'll start from the beginning. Taking a look around. Just a quick scan. Zoom in down the road. Zoom in at the vehicle on the road. It appears to have a front plate there. The truck in the driveway does not have a front plate. Just looking at the transformer faced away from the road, and you see the one down the road away from the road. Very East Coast vibes. Um, that's not a bad guess. Um, First they click middle. They clicked pretty much the middle of New Brunswick. I think they, plonked down, kind of adjusted. I don't see anything suspicious about that round at all. Okay, this is definitely the same player again. The mid-range elo with the high amount of duels played in a no-move game. Let's see what they're looking at this time. Okay. Um, I think what you see here is this player is taking a look around, looking very Balkans to them. I would tend to agree. You got a lot of the uh, red tiled roofs. You got pretty dry looking landscape, rocky mountain slash hills. Um, Looks very Albania, Montenegro. Um, Maybe they clicked middle of Montenegro. They thought could be Albania too. Hedged a little bit. That's all it looks like to me. I happened to be pretty lucky there, but everything makes sense. And I could have easily made this guess myself. So um, I am going to say not guilty on both accounts here. No move, 1,000 to 1,100, 3,000 to 4,000. So this looks like our player from before, but maybe not. We skipped around here, but let's take a look and see what's up. Okay, looking around for some meta, seeing the outside yellow lines and the inside white lines. Good meta for South Africa, a few other countries in the area, as well as Middle East. So this is actually a little bit crazy. So um, just from the zoomed out uh, distance, first plonk, sure, this looks like South Africa. I agree 100%. It would not take me much time at all to draw that conclusion. Second plonk, however, from here looks like it's on the pin. Um, Super suspicious, I would say. Um, but it's not on the pin. So, um, what do you say with this? General plonk in South Africa. Try and nail down the region guess a little better. I mean, I kind of agree with that. You go to a place that's pretty flat and open. The first plonk, um, second plonk, going a little further east. Definitely some more hills and stuff out this way. If you're familiar with that, um, you get hilliness all around the coast, at least west and south, um, sporadically uh, throughout. Obviously, anywhere kind of along the coast in South Africa, you're going to see some hills, mountains, and such. But decided to go closer to Johannesburg. With the quality of the road, um, the amount of agriculture. I mean, I could see at making that adjustment. The click wasn't immediately on the pin. Um, and that's the difference, right? Like if it was directly on the pin, a space ponk like that would be super suspicious. But I mean, from what I see here, it's okay. South Africa, click. Think about the region guess. Adjust your plonk. Thinking it's a little further northeast, a little closer to Johannesburg. I don't, I don't really, I don't see any clear evidence of cheating here. Yeah, amazing drop, but we've all gotten lucky in those situations, and you always put the head exploding emoji to be like, yeah, no, I'm as surprised as you are, but I'm gonna say insufficient evidence for scripting, and not guilty for googling. I really don't think so, but we've seen this player. It appears to be this player reported a couple times here, so um, have a look, Geoguessr, but I don't really think so. Next case, I think we'll do this one. Couple more, and then we'll call it a day. So we got a moving game, 900 to 1,000 elo. 800 to 900 duels played. Let's take a look and see what what we're looking at here. So we got a long antenna. So right away, I mean, just taking a quick look, the first image you see, I could see how you might click North America here. I think the birches and the pines are not quite right for that, but you do have a bigger road, um, which sometimes can indicate North America, and the northern part of it anyway. But like as soon as you turn around and see that long antenna, you know you are no longer in the Americas. Um, let's continue to see. So we got some mountains there that definitely look like the mountains that are on that peninsula in Russia. A very volcanic area. I don't honestly, those mountains are pretty distinctive. Players experienced enough that they've seen that enough times. I mean, again, I'll say I miss these sometimes, but and the other thing too here, you see the post, the sign post with the black paint on the bottom. That's Russia pretty much every time. I think you see them in Kazakhstan, um, but this certainly doesn't look like Kazakhstan. I got nothing. I got no issues with this guess. None at all. Okay, this appears to be the same player, moving 900 to 1000, duels played 800 to 900. Curious to see what this one looks like. Okay, super fast plonk. We're going Bolivia, very confident. Clicked mid mountains. Um, this player knows the map. Their region guessing is generally pretty good, but I don't see any evidence of cheating here. There's nothing that looks like it's scripting. Um, Googling's a no, right? So, not guilty. Pretty comfortable with that. Looks like the same player again, moving 900 to 1000, 800 to 900 games played. So, let's see here. Okay, we're zoomed in on a sign pretty quickly, not suspicious. Going for a quick plonk again. Mendoza, okay. Really good guesses. I don't see. You know what? Anyone watching, please comment if these particular plonks, if there's anything that looks like scripting to you, please let me know. The only thing I could see here possibly is if they were able to Google very, very quickly. Now, I'm not sure if Yacimiento is even a place name. I guess I'll take a look at the map after they click, but I mean, they clicked on Mendoza. Um, Again, you see these mountains are super distinct. I don't know if I'd pick them out as well as this player has. Um, I'd probably have a little bit of trouble deciding how far north or south this was. Um, obviously it's not incredibly far south because of the foliage, but it looks pretty warm here. But that's pretty that's pretty tight. That plonk. Uh, but again, I don't see any evidence of cheating. I'm starting to think this player might be smurfing on the way to building their account back up um, to a higher level, but I could see it being very frustrating playing against a player like this. But you got to remember, being frustrated is not a good reason to report somebody. You need to see evidence of cheating. Um, I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to do one more. Again, not guilty, not guilty. Um, so we're looking like Colombia around here. Sorry, Panama. Um, super fast plonk, but if we get some car meta here, I think that I don't actually see the antenna, but there's a big blur. You do see in Panama. You see the fences that are pretty typical for Panama. They're unlike Colo. You've got the branch like fence posts, but they actually look like bigger pieces of wood that have been cut down with a live edge. Um, More common in Panama for sure. And then the quality, um, Panama, as far as I know, only has fourth gen camera. That coupled with the blur, they went middle of Panama. This player is skilled in identifying quickly where they are to a certain degree. Like I said, frustrating player to play against, I'm sure, but no excuse on reporting this kind of stuff, guys. I don't know who's been reporting this person. Clearly frustrated, but a tilt or you know being raging. No, not a good reason to report people. I'm gonna say not guilty. Um, I'll go back to I've been playing Geoguessr not for too long, consistently. Like I think I got an account 3 4 years ago. Haven't really started playing seriously until the last 6 months or so. Um, but there's certainly a lot that I don't know, um, and I'm trying to grind. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to get better. Um, but from my experience level, I don't see anything really suspicious about being able to make guesses like that. A lot of confidence, and a lot of consistency, but no evidence of cheating. But anyway, I'll leave it at that. Um, Plan to keep making these videos. Hopefully somebody's enjoying them. But anyway, uh, I'll catch you on the next one.